Hello, my name is Chloe Johnson, and I'm a graduate communications designer here at the Colorado School of Mines.
Today, I'm going to be talking to you about team communication. There are many elements of and skill sets associated with effective communication, especially on a team. But today, I want to focus on a few of these to help get you started on improving your communication skills. Namely, I want to talk about setting expectations and goals, listening, feedback, and conflict resolution. Before I go over a few tips and tricks for the four previously mentioned areas, I want to encourage you to take some time to think about yourself and your personal perception of others around you. Knowing how we operate as individuals, or being more self aware, can inform how we perceive and interact with others, which greatly impacts our communication. Take some time to get to know yourself better, perhaps even taking a personality test through the Career Center here at Minds, or another online resource, or reflecting on how your own personal worldview, including your background, biases, values, etc. These few steps into self awareness can allow us to pay attention to how we are perceiving others and how this may impact communication with them. The first component I'd like to discuss is expectations and goal setting. In a team, setting goals and expectations early on can prevent confusion, frustration, disappointment, and help keep you on target and on the same page. Let's walk through an example of how this might work. Let's say you're working on a course project in chemistry with a few other teammates. In your first meeting, you may want to decide on goals. Decide on your final goal for this project, if not specified by the instructor, and break this down into smaller weekly or monthly goals, depending on the length of the project, putting each of these on the schedule. Next, determine your roles and responsibilities. Determine the role and responsibilities of each person in the group, making sure you cover all tasks with these roles and that each person understands their own personal role. Then, create a schedule. Make a schedule for each following group meeting, as well as an agenda, and decide on when you want to meet relative to your task due date. For instance, you may not want to meet before or after each task. Next, choose a communication platform. Choosing a platform may allow you to even eliminate certain meetings. Finally, recap. Recap your meeting, making sure each person is clear on the details, deliverables, and their roles. The second component I'd like to discuss is listening. Listening is different from hearing in that it requires concentrated attention to understand what someone is trying to express. It is active rather than passive. Listening is an important component of communication, as if we don't understand someone clearly or they don't understand us clearly, the communication has failed. For more practice on listening, see both the activities for this topic as well as that for active listening OTCC. The third component is constructive feedback. Feedback is important as it allows us to challenge and encourage each other, identifying areas of growth and strength. However, this step is often not handled well or at all. A few tips for helpful constructive feedback are to be specific, focus on behavior over personal attributes, keep the number of growth areas manageable, choose things that can be improved, and give steps for improvement. It is also important to set the agenda and expectations when you organize a meeting for feedback, so the person you're meeting with can process their own thoughts and know what to expect from the conversation. Additionally, make sure you pick a comfortable environment to meet and discuss feedback, as well as prepared to receive feedback yourself. Most importantly, remember your goal is to encourage and help the other person grow. For more information and practices on giving helpful feedback, review the OTCC on constructive feedback. The final area of discussion is conflict resolution. Interpersonal conflict requires 4 criteria: that the parties are interdependent, perceive they have incompatible goals or means to the same end, recognize this incompatibility could adversely affect their relationship, and they create a sense of urgency to resolve the difference. One of the biggest issues with conflict resolution is that often our emotions, or that of the other person, are heightened and it keeps us from listening to the other individuals. This is a huge problem, as resolving a conflict requires listening actively to the other party, validating what they have said, and taking your time to really understand their viewpoint before speaking our own. It is also important to remain calm and communicate clearly, to be assertive but not aggressive, and to be able to receive the same from the other person involved. The most important thing for conflict resolution is to find ways to remain calm, see the other person's side of things, and to keep the goal of resolution in mind. For more guidance on how to resolve a conflict, see the practices for this OTCC.